Hi, everyone. So what if you signed a patient up for your membership and they want to cancel? They want to leave early. So first and foremost, before you even sign anybody up, you need to make sure that you have a membership agreement that includes all of those terms. We do recommend having a early cancellation fee. Ours was $300 if they wanted to cancel early, and making sure all of that is spelled out for the patient. You also want to make sure that you're very clear in describing to the patient what you will be doing over the course of the year, so they understand what they'll be gaining from that time period with you, so there's no surprises at the time going through the year. Okay, so the most frequent reasons I see that patients want to cancel early is, number one, it's either too costly in terms of supplements and labs. So that's kind of one of the main things. Is about month 3 or 4, they might be like, oh my gosh, I can't do this every single month. And the thing that I see with physicians, how I recommend handling this, is that at every appointment, I always preload their cart with the supplements that I'm recommending. And I also tell them the price of labs. And I just flat out ask them, are you able to do this month? Is this amount of investment for the supplements or the labs? Is that something that you're able to do? And most of the time they say yes, but sometimes they're like, I really can't do that this month. So then you have to kind of decide which supplements are things that can kind of wait. What do we really need to work on at that point? And to remember that supplements are just that, they're supplemental. Working on those lifestyle aspects, thought work, nervous system, things like that, that's free, and that can also lead to their healing. So that's number one. It's just kind of doing a preventative action of just checking in with them, because you don't want them to not say anything and then month 4 or 5 just be like, this is just too expensive, I just can't do it. So I never assume anything. I'm always asking questions like, how are these plans going for you? How is the financial commitment? At every appointment, I'm asking their feedback for the investment. So that's kind of number one, is the investment. And then if they do say, I need to cancel early, because I just can't continue to afford this, I ask, then you ask, is there an issue with the supplements labs or an issue with the membership fee itself? Because we can always make adjustments to the labs and the supplements, and you would hate to see them lose the progress that they had gained. You want to still be there to support them, and there's so many other things within your membership for them to take advantage of that they're already paying for, like the classes that you have, if you contracted with independent contractors that they paid for within the membership. So there's these other things that they have to take advantage of that are also extremely healing for them. So that's important to kind of distinguish. I do offer sometimes like a 90-day break. So if they say, there's just an expense that all of a sudden came up, like maybe they had something with their car, or their child needs something. So I might say, listen, would a 90-day break be helpful for you? And then you can kind of start back. So I'm just setting the stage and being curious and asking questions, because the feedback that they give you, it's either something that you can work with, and it just kind of gives you information about how you've set up your membership, how you've set up your appointments. If there's anything that need to be adjusted within that, then you can kind of go ahead and make those changes moving forward for the next person. So you're always kind of like pivoting. The other thing that I hear from patients is that if they want to cancel early, it's just sometimes people go overboard with the supplements, and they kind of start with those foundational supplements, and then they just kind of keep adding to them. So also by month 5 or 6, this patient is on like 10 plus supplements. And I think that can be difficult for the patient to sustain over time, especially if they feel like that is the main piece of the practice. The main intervention being advised are these, prescriptions or these supplements. So kind of making sure that you're kind of rotating them out, like you're focused on gut, those are the gut healing supplements, and then you kind of move on to something else. And it's a bit of a, you can discontinue these and we're going to add on this. Does this seem doable? Like doing the schedule with them. You're taking this at breakfast, this at lunch, this at dinner. Is that something that you can do? So always checking in, always working with their schedule, making sure that you are discontinuing things that they don't need anymore. So you always want to make sure that they have those wins, that they're able to comply. Because if they're having trouble complying with either the nutrition plan or the supplement plan or the exercise plan, whatever you have them doing, then they would rather probably stop than have to come in and tell you that they haven't done half the things you've asked them to do. So always making sure that whatever plan that you're creating it with them, and that they're agreeing to it. And it's less of that, like, this is everything you have to do and I'll see you in 2 months, and then they come back and they're like, I didn't able to do any of it. No one wants to feel like that on a regular basis. So those are the 3 primary reasons that I hear that people want to cancel early, is because it's either like financially too much with the addition of the supplements and the labs. And our membership fees are only include services. They don't include the supplements or labs. So the beauty in that is that can be adjusted based on the patient's needs. So that's number 1. So always asking them at every appointment how that is for them. The second one is that they're just not able to handle the plan that you're giving them. And so we just need to make sure that when you are developing that plan, that you're doing it with them together, and that will help that. And the third piece is like, offer that 90-day break. Be curious, ask them why, ask them what's occurring for them. They might, like, you would rather them tell you than complain to their partner, complain to their spouse, and then just become so fed up after a few months that they're just like, oh, forget it, I'm just going to cancel. Like, you need to be involved in those conversations, so you can kind of make those tiny adjustments in the beginning of those issues, as opposed to trying to like salvage this membership when they're already have one foot out the door. They've already made their decision. So make sure you're checking in with the patient at every appointment. How are things going? Ask them about the time commitment, the doability, and the financial piece of it at every single appointment. And you can avoid some of those cancellations before the patient just asks for it and they've already made up their mind. So thanks a lot for your time. I hope that was helpful.